welcome to Atlanta Mix 108. Up next is Author Talk with your host, M.L.Ruscsak. Welcome, Atlanta, to another edition of Author Talk with M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here today with Marianne Peterson. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about her book.
The name is called God and Your Pillow. The two things, God and Your Pillow is the name. And I enjoyed trying to figure out that title.
Isn't the titles always the hardest things to figure out, regardless of what point of the book you're in?
Well, it's kind of interesting how I came across my title because it's a memoir, so, it talks about my life. And the thing that stood out for the title was pillow, because my pillow knows all my thoughts through this trial I went through. But then it dawned on me, wait, God also knows all my thoughts, so I know God and my pillow. But then I realized that I want my readers to know that I'm sure they have their pillows too that know all their thoughts. So I decided to call it God and Your Pillow. And whenever I bring this title up with friends, they go, oh, my pillow's the same thing. It knows all my thoughts too. So I had fun I had my name on my book from the very beginning.
There we go. Don't all of our pillows know all of our deepest secrets? Whether if we dream about it or if we're going through a crisis and our tears are falling upon it.
Exactly. I kept saying, the pillow can soak up our tears for us, And in my book, I kind of have a little fun letting my pillows say their thoughts too, Because, hey, if my pillow knows all my thoughts, let's hear what my pillow is thinking about those thoughts. It was kind of fun, little touch in there I added.
Oh, that is an excellent touch.
Sometimes it wanted me to shut up. It was fun sometimes, including what it's thinking. So
why don't we talk a little bit about the memoir? And you said you were going through a trial. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we sure can. It happened, years ago. And when I went through this amazing trial, it was basically an unplanned pregnancy that I thought would be the last thing I'd ever endure. I'd have to go through. My goal was to wait, quote, for your wedding night, and emotions and hormones can break in and take control, as I learned the hard way. But, so, it was quite a while ago. I had just graduated from high school. I had a wonderful summer. I came to put my heart to the Lord, and I thought, okay, more of a reason to wait for my wedding night. But there was a little change of plans, I guess, and my story carries you through that whole ordeal of what happened and where and what my thoughts were. And but thankfully, as I had taken basically I thought I was mature enough when I ventured to stay with a friend in California and get a new job. And I thought I had a career plan, but I needed a little break from college. And I went there and thought I met Mr. Right, sort of, and I lost it. I thought I'd wait for my wedding night and messed up. And then I thought, I don't even want to stay here anymore. I want to get back to life. I want to go back to school. And I came back to Washington. That's where I live, Seattle, Washington. And I, through a tough test, found out that positive is actually, you feel negative. I thought positive meant I wouldn't be pregnant, but that actually meant you were pregnant. So that started the roughest road I'd been on. I wasn't sure what I should do, but in a nutshell, came close to getting married. I thought I should. Hey, he's the father. I don't love him, but, being raised in a family that felt you should marry him no matter what, he moved here, and we basically planned our wedding. And it was going to be soon. We weren't going to wait very long. Let's just do it. Start a family before the baby's born.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, I got some good counseling from some dear friends, and they guided me to put me and the baby first. There's no rule that's saying I had to get married. But thankfully, my family was supporting me. I want to make sure this is clear. My family's supporting me. I had a dear family. My friends at church were very supportive. And I could tell that, yes, I shouldn't get married to this man. But then there was a major soap opera involved in all that. There's even a few legal reasons that maybe I shouldn't have married this man as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of adds a little more soap opera into the story.
Oh, I can relate to that perfectly.
Yeah. So that's where that's kind of what encouraged me to turn this into a book, a memoir, is because there was just that extra oomph into it to make it a book. Well, I won't get into the details, though, but thankfully some counseling and some guidance encouraged me, you shouldn't be marrying this man. And at the same time, there was something positive that kind of came into the picture. And as my pregnancy was going very well, God even showed mercy. I really didn't have a morning sickness. It went very well. I was very comfortable.
Oh, you are so lucky, and I'm so envious.
Yeah, I know. And that was one thing about me writing all this. I thought, maybe the readers are going to be starting getting mad at me. Ooh, she had it made. But, there was still some uncomfort, of course. But I kind of, again, give God credit. He just knew this was tough for me, and he was carrying me through it. So as months went on, I got used to the fact of, I'm going to be a mother, and I need to, I was looking into the books, reading what I could. There was no website then. We're talking like 87. There's no websites I can just type in, pregnant, teen, what do I do? It was books. So thankfully, as months were going by, then I like to say my book starts off as a soap opera, but halfway through it turns into a love story. So the rest of the book kind of goes through the means of how I met this one man, and I can't give too much away, but I knew it was more the right kind of man I should get to know. And I met him at church. And some friends that were kind of sensing I kind of liked him, we kind of had fun, jokingly, go over and talk to him, But basically, as months went by, we got to know each other more and became better friends. And then the love story continues. So I don't know if I want to give the ending to any of this, but it's a happy ending. Yeah, it's a happy ending. But there were still trials in the process. And God was still showing me, Marianne, you need to put me first, remember. And he showed it in amazing, amazing ways. So my book is to show my story, how hard it was. And it's not like I was smiling the whole way through. There's, again, a major soap opera involved. So I just want people that are going through my goal is when people are going through an unplanned pregnancy and they need encouragement, that's what my book is for.
See, now this is something I wish I would have read 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
See,
exactly.
My daughter was completely unplanned and was probably created with the worst possible choice and that I can think of.
Yeah.
There's a whole soap opera. There's still a soap opera as far as that's concerned. But
yeah. Because everyone's family is different that they grow up with to encourage them, or they might be discouraged. I thankfully had a good church that was a small church, so everyone knows each other, so they're hugging me through it all. But I know others don't have that, so I just, I want my book to be a oomph, you can get through it. And, hey, I even thought of adoption, too. But since my family was so strong and encouraging, and my friend, and some of my siblings had gone through the same ordeal, so I know my own family would have spoiled me rotten too.
Mhm.
So, I just hung in there, and I stuck to it.
Yeah. See, my family was, well, you made your bed, now lay on it. So there was no good alternative in my family.
Mm-hmm.
And then their whole morning sickness, and I have my own medical issues added to pregnancy. So it was a trial in itself just to have her.
Definitely, and I totally understand how it can be that way for many. So,
but it's also a blessing every day that I have her. She's my only baby.
Yeah, it's worth it. I remember when I saw that baby, the first time I saw her, I was like, wow, I'm a mom. And thankfully my labor was fairly smooth too. And so in my story I kind of give how I was feeling. Oh, and I also kept a journal during a lot of this. So in my book I also show you what my heart was on paper at the time. And kind of showed my inward heart when I got to know this new man in my life, and but then also the trials going through this new man in my life, So, and I know some people like to read in someone else's journal, so they can read that as well.
Well, there you go.
So, now my goal is to reach others who have kind of gone through a tough time like this. So I'm hoping my book can be read, but I'm also aiming to be a speaker at some support groups for those going through unplanned pregnancies too.
That would be so wonderful, because there's so many young ladies out there that just feel lost. And
and there seems like there's now when this happened to me, in the late 80s, the mid 80s. There, I couldn't pursue those. I didn't know what's out there. But now there's so many support groups. So I want to put my foot in the door and say, hey, do you need someone to speak to your group? Or I don't know. That's where I'm at right now. I'm hunting for some places and getting names of places sent to me. So I'm enjoying looking.
I will email you a site that I use that generates you leads for public speaking.
That would be wonderful. That's my goal.
Because I do public speaking for anti-bullying as well.
Really? Wow. Good for you, yeah.
I do that, and I do post-rape.
Yeah.
So that's a different
There's
story.
So many ears out there that, there's so many ears out there that need it.
It's a big thing. I have that, the child abuse and the anti-bullying things that I do constantly.
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of writing a book from my grandfather's point of view, using his journal to tell my story.
Wonderful. Yeah, that sounds great.
Because I'm like, I want my story out there, but I don't want to write it from my perspective. I want an outsider's perspective looking at it.
Yeah,
and my grandfather was a big journal person.
Yeah.
And from up until the day he passed, I have all of his journals, and I'm using
putting
that
his writings together. Yeah.
And then
because everyone's heart, you get to read the hearts more when it's from their writing. I mean, I look back at my high school journals. They're funny. I see how I was in high school or even junior high, just my thoughts and my word. It's just comical.
Yeah, you go, oh, so-and-so is so cute. I wish.
Cute. Oh, but I like him better. But what if he talks to me tomorrow? And
isn't it fun to look back on the journals from when we were in school, when we were growing up, and go, life is
on my blog. On my blog, occasionally I share some of my past journal writing, just for fun. But I want to encourage everyone, if you haven't started a journal yet, you got to. I still do it. I'm 51, proud of it. And I still keep in my journal, but now it's gone through my pros and cons growing through with my family. I have 4 kids now. They're all out of the house. My youngest is 21. So I keep track of, look back at what life was like when all my kids were growing up. And I love it. It's so worth it. It's not like a daily ritual writing, it might be every 6 months. But
right.
Or when something dramatic happens or something hilarious happens. So
yeah, I take journal writing and change names and places, and then I blog about it. Especially with certain things, there's things going on with my friends and family. I'm like, I want this out there as a learning experience for others, but I don't want to use the real names and places.
Oh yeah. Alter what? Yeah. I hear you. But it's funny looking back now. Like my oldest daughter, she's 31. When I look back at her journal, I just because after she was born, I thought, I keep my own journal. I'm going to start keeping a journal for my children. So when they grow up, and my goal was when they move out of the house, they get to take their journal with them. So they get to read what I wrote about them when their first rollover, the first time they ate something that I was so excited about, or one time my daughter, I wrote when she fell down the stairs. And my heart felt
concept.
Yeah. And then been growing up. So, but it was kind of hard after 4 kids, keeping track of all their journals when something big happened. But it was worth it.
Yeah, it gets tough after a while, but the more you can give them insight, the more it helps them later on.
Oh yeah, definitely. So,
now, besides your journaling and you're trying to get it into public speaking and group speaking, are you working on anything else right now?
My next book, my next memoir, which is about an illness that I had that was about 27 years ago. It's called encephalitis. I mean, I'm not going to get the big technical name, but it's encephalitis, which was a dramatic. It affects your memory, and it affects other things, but for me, it affected memory, so I still suffer today of remembering, names of this and that and details of this and that, but I'm bearing with it. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I couldn't really get a full-time job because there's too much pressure to remember facts of jobs or people or things, and I wound up just working at home. Thankfully, God put a perfect job on my lap. I love videos, okay? I love photos, I love music, and I love putting them together. And I realized that you could put these on the computers. Actually, one of my daughters taught me. She said, Mom, Dad, come here, I want you to see this. And she put pictures with music together on the computer. And my heart melted. My husband looked at me, he said, I know you. You're going to make this a business, aren't you? Sure enough, 6 months later, I had a license, and I started doing videos for weddings and funerals and graduations and stuff. So that was my heart was there, and I worked that extra mile to remember details about programs and, and in a nutshell, right now I'm now working with a professional speaker, and we put videos together for websites, for YouTube, for different sources of the internet, and it's a treasure.
That is awesome. I'm going to keep you in mind because I have a lot of author friends that are appearing on my show, and then a lot haven't appeared yet, but they're trying to see where the show is going before they commit to it. But they need to get their names out there, and doing videos for YouTube is a big way to do that. Yeah. It's a great job, and I'm thankful that because I work at home, and I can do it kind of on my hours, And the guy that I work with, we just work great together. He's a great guy. God just knew exactly what I needed because I can't because of my illness, and that's again what my next book's going to be about. It's going to be showing from beginning to end, basically, how God got me through that.
And I didn't really think of, writing a book, but people have encouraged me, said, Marianne, you need to write about what happened to you, because others need to be encouraged for that illness, to how you survived through it. And enough people were telling me that. And it is good when you have a book on the go to kind of have a second book. That always helps. So I'm gung-ho for it. Yeah. Now it's just finding time.
I don't know if my listeners can understand that I skip words or have intermediate pauses and stuff. That's because of my own medical illnesses.
Yeah.
I was 28 and I had 2 strokes 2 weeks apart.
Wow. Yeah, when I read about that, I thought, an instant I can bond with you, because I went to work. But if your heart's there.
Yeah, I went to work one day, a healthy 28-year-old, or semi-healthy, because I was having other medical problems, and next thing you know, I have a stroke, I'm having brain surgery, I have another stroke, I lose half my vision, the entire right side of my body, and I can't speak. So
God pulled you through it. You sound great.
I'm here. When I finally got where I could talk, I spoke with a Romanian accent. Don't ask me where that came from. Never been to Romania, but only like a handful of people understood me. One of the ladies that understood me was a native of Romania. So she was my translator there for a while.
Yeah,
but it's been a fight to get back. So I understand.
Well, my family, Well, thankfully, I could have been, and I kind of shared this on my blog. I had to take my 6-month-old to a doctor's appointment. She was my second daughter. My first was about 3.5 years old, and it was this is where the little story starts. It was a terrible snowy morning, and I had to go to the doctor. I knew I had to take her, but the drive would have been too long, so I spent the night at my mother's home, only about 5 minutes from the doctor. Plus, there was snow, so we spent the night. And so the next morning I was getting us ready to go, and one of my other sisters stopped in just to say hi. She had to get something. And I had a seizure right before I left. And I had my 2 kids with me. But my mom was there. My sister was there. And my sister actually works at that hospital. I can't say she's a nurse, but she knew enough to help what I needed to get done. But can you imagine if I was at my apartment, if I didn't have a doctor's appointment, if I was at my apartment with my 2 little kids with snow everywhere and I had a seizure? That's where I would have been. Or if there was no snow, I would have been in the car at that point, driving to the doctor. But where was I? God knew. I'm putting her through this extra trial. I'm going to have her at her parents' house where her mom can take care of the kids. And I'll have her sister there to make sure and then my other sister showed up while the ambulance was on the way, and she also worked at the hospital. So I kind of got that little extra spoilish at the hospital. But in a nutshell, when I was there, I didn't know who anyone was. There was like 6 days that I don't remember, but to me I was asleep, and they were wondering. That's when they were trying to figure out, what does she have? So to me, I kind of woke up there.
Yeah.
Where am I? Who are these people? And then that was the good sign, though. They could tell, something's good's happening, But to make a long story short, I didn't know who my kids were. What's a husband? What? I'm holding this thing. This is mine. What's a mom? Yeah, I but thankfully, I understand. As each day went by, it was getting better.
Yeah. First came from this hospital, I didn't recognize my daughter.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize I was 28. I thought it was like 16, and I'm in the hospital. What happened? Why am I in the hospital? No, I don't have a baby. I'm only 16. I'm getting ready for prom.
Oh wow. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. I was about 20. I was about 23 or 24. I just didn't know what squat was.
Yeah.
So.
And it's scary when you're going through it, but then you look back and go, hey, if I can survive this,
exactly,
there is nothing I can't do.
Yeah. I was at the first hospital for about 2.5 weeks because physically they realized, okay, physically she's pretty much totally fine, but the brain. Okay, so they sent me to a different hospital for another about 2.5 weeks. That my husband's parents both work there. They live 2 minutes from that hospital, so my husband had a place to stay. Their hours were very flexible, so they didn't have to be at work. So, you know, again, another thank you, God, for some other right next to that second hospital. But there is when I was more therapy. Let's try to work on remembering things more. And as time was going by, it was getting better. So, but then even after that, I couldn't be at our apartment by myself. My mother-in-law or my mom had to be until I could prove that I'm fine to be a mom of 2 kids again. But it was getting better. And as months and now years have gone by, it's just simple. Okay, I don't remember this. I don't care because I don't have to. What else do I need to remember? But my heart, if it's on something, I'm there, 100%.
Yeah.
So my books now get 110%.
I think that's why so many people with ailments become authors because, hey, if we can survive our ailments, we can survive putting ourselves out there with our work. This is something we enjoy. This is something that's therapeutic.
We can actually do.
Yeah. And you get authors, artists, musicians that are so great that have these backstories that you would never believe unless you sit down and talk to them.
Yeah, and like what I share on my blog, my main goal is to encourage people. You know, look what happened to me. Yes, it was tough. Yeah, and there's still tears. I still shed some tears on how hard some things can be for me. But, again, God's holding me. Even though I'm crying, He's there with me. And I want to help others. That's my goal.
And I believe your books will do that so well. And we can find your books on Amazon. It's very simple. You would just look up your name, Marianne Peterson. And
Peterson, it's S-E-N. Or just the title of my book, God in Your Pillow, and it'll pop up.
And these are very inspirational books. Right now you only have the one out, but the next one, more so for those that are going through something medically wrong. Yes, that it can be tough, but hang in there. And I'm kind of half jokingly, but half serious. Since this one is called God in Your Pillow, I'm thinking of calling the next book God in Your, what's it called? But I don't know, I haven't decided that yet. That would be fun. Just to connect the two books, you know. Yeah. God's with you whatever trial you're going through. And I also have fun in my book. I'm one of those very few people that don't have a middle name. Oh. And so in my book, I have a little fun. Through the whole drama, through the whole soap opera, through the whole love story, I like giving my own middle name to fit in with what the book's sharing at the time. So it's kind of fun. Yeah. That would be extremely fun. I usually call myself Marianne Hot Tub Peterson because I love hot tubs. But that might send the wrong message. Exactly. or hot tub cozy pillow with a blankie, you know, cozy. I love hot cocoa, Marianne Hot Cocoa Peterson. But in my book, it applies to where I am in the story. Right. So it's kind of fun. It is always fun to put yourself into a story and just have fun with it that way. Yeah. So. And it's also fun, I felt, to kind of read your thoughts. So I share a lot of my thoughts going through this whole drama, you know, what my thoughts were while I'm at a place, thinking, why am I here? Why am I here? I can't believe I'm here, you know, but... Well, unfortunately, I think that's about as much time as we have for today. I would love to have you back on Author Talk as soon as you get the next book out, because I think your next book would touch base on so many more issues that are out there. Yes, I agree, yes. Yeah. And there's so many medical issues that people can connect with, even if you haven't had a stroke or encephalitis. It's you can connect the dots with your own medical
yes,
issue.
There's so many other people out there that have brain injury, and we can all relate somehow in some way. So that's my mission.
So thank you, Marianne, for being on the show.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very thankful that I found you.
You are very welcome, and I love to talk to you today. And Alana, good night, and I'll talk to everyone tomorrow.
Bye-bye.